Okay, welcome everybody. This pitch is about sustainable fisheries, but it's also confessions of a fish nerd, because since I was a young kid, I was obsessed by fish and by fishing, and this has carried me over to become a professor to study this scientifically. I was particularly obsessed by freshwater fish, a taxa group that is mostly invisible to the public because we are all thinking about finding Nemo and other coral reefs and marine fish, but we are dealing with freshwater fish. It's a very vulnerable group of fish. 46% of the species in Germany, for example, are threatened by extinction or really threatened, and that's not because of overfishing, but because we have tamed the rivers, we have changed the lakes, we have put the rivers into channelized streams, and they are no longer functional the way they should. And this is an issue for those that like to use those fish, for example, the recreational anglers. So this is the most important fishing group in all freshwaters in the Western nations. We have 220 million people who fish for recreation, 5 times more than the commercial fishermen. It's a multi-billion industry. In Germany alone, the income that is generated through recreational fishing is as high as the entire commercial fishing sector. At the same time, anglers in freshwater systems are also managers of those systems, and of course, things can go wrong. So there is a need to induce sustainability, to inject sustainability ideas into the sector, and this is what we are doing in our group in Berlin. So I will show you a little movie how we do this work.
What makes this project unique really is that we work together with anglers. We mark fish, we improve the habitats, we jointly sample the fish, we interpret the data together. So the anglers are the citizen scientists, and we do the data collection together with the anglers. So we empower them to also think about how to improve biodiversity, how to conserve threatened species.
One very important outcome of our joint work with the anglers was that we could show really that the anglers changed their attitudes and norms towards fisheries management. For example, in the past, they often used fish stocking to enhance fisheries, but now they move towards habitat enhancement, which benefits not only fish but also other taxa. One of the biggest outcomes of our joint work to enhance their habitats was that the fish increasingly use these habitats and the abundance of fish is increased. One could also show that fisheries management done by these angling clubs increases the species diversity of fish, using native fish, not non-native as often assumed. So we have 7 to 12 species of fish in the managed lakes, while the lakes that are left untouched only host 3 to 5 fish. In one of our newest projects, we could show that protecting of large fish rather than the small fish is beneficial for fisheries management. Traditionally, there is the tendency to remove the big fish because they're assumed to be less productive. However, we could show that this is not the best strategy, and we would advocate for the use of harvest slots rather than minimum length limit. More and more fish actually have had an experience with the hook. And this creates fish that are shy, that are less able to take the hook. So in the end, there is a race between anglers on the one hand and the fish on the other hand who learn to avoid capture.
That's really unique. In addition, we communicate that knowledge using various forms and means that are tailored to the target groups, such as comics, movies, podcasts. We had publications, we did a road show and a series of seminars, and thereby we reached not only anglers but also policymakers, decision makers at national and international level. My kid's dream was to become the world's best angler. That didn't come true, and the reason is that I really suck at fishing. So I'd rather become a theoretician. I talk about fish. It's much easier than catching them.
Okay, so all the communication we do, we are amateurs. We are not really specialists in media and journalism. So here are 3 ideas we could work together. The first is developing documentaries and films that really show the astonishing behavioral diversity within rivers and lakes, these overlooked components of water bodies. Also, there's an idea to show the cooperation we do as a scientist with the stakeholders, with the anglers, because I think that this co-production of knowledge, talking about the theme we heard before, is key for solving sustainability issues. The second opportunity is developing cartoons. So add a spice of humor to the whole story. We did something like that in the past together with experts, but we can do more because it improves the narrative and the ability to reach a broader audience. And finally, the third option is to develop online exhibitions where people go online and can choose between different formats, leaflets, videos, little fact sheets, but perhaps even gaming and other forms. And we would look forward to cooperation with some of you. So if you take the bait, here are my contact details. I will be around today. Thank you very much and happy fishing.